Hello, my name is Reverend Chijioke Agbaeze, the pastor of First United Presbyterian Church of Little Falls, and also a student of the OMSC certificate program in Lived Theology and World Christianity. Before I preached my first sermon in Little Falls, New York, I was invited to a table. Members of the congregation picked me up from the airport, shared meals with me, opened their homes, and welcomed me into their lives. As an African pastor serving in a predominantly white rural American congregation, I began to wonder, how does table fellowship become a place where faith, belonging, and cultural difference are negotiated? This question became the foundation of my Lived Theology research project. Rather than viewing theology as doctrine or belief, I want to understand how theology is lived and experienced through ordinary practices of sharing meals and welcoming strangers. This study is situated in my ministry context at First United Presbyterian Church in Little Falls, New York. One of the central insights of my project is that food is never just food. Meals carry memory, identity, culture, and power. Long before theological ideas are discussed, people often encounter one another through hospitality and shared meal. The table becomes one of the first places where belonging is tested and trust is formed. This project follows the approach of lived theology and theology from below. Instead of beginning with abstract doctrines, I began with lived experiences and everyday practices. I used three primary methods: observing the participants in worship, communion, fellowship meals, and everyday congregational life.
Everything looks wonderful. I gotta try it.
Reflecting on my own experiences as both pastor and researcher in this intercultural ministry setting. The food is not just about the taste, it's not about the calories. For me, food carries meaning and memory, and sometimes mystery, because we can also interpret food like we do with the communion. So as we sit around this table to eat and chat, I hope you try to think of so many things, which include the taste of the food, where the food came from, who grew the food, the farmers that grew the food, what conditions were they in. You may not know, but just try to imagine some of these things. What conditions were they in as they were growing the food, and so many other things. You'll be amazed at the much insight we'll get as we just share here. And that would be our sermon for today. Listening to parishioners through conversations about hospitality, and community.
Okay. On the table.
Does this have dressing on it?
These methods align with the lived theology framework emphasized throughout the OMSC program, where lived theological insight emerges through qualitative engagement with everyday life. I learned that hospitality became the first language of ministry. Before theological conversation took place, relationships were formed around meals, coffee tables, and dining rooms. Hospitality provided the foundation for trust.
This is not the apple you'd want to eat raw.
You don't like it?
I like it now. They serve that with certain dishes. Well, and part of what you cook the chicken, for example. I don't mind eating it raw.
Just to eat it.
We have different tastes. All right. Now,
Sweet. Sugar.
maybe we'll see. Make sure I didn't leave anything out. Sometimes I do that.
Is that the best spoon you have?
It's just a regular fork.
Can you use spatula or something?
You could. This requires more muscle, but
I see.
it's all right. I don't mind it. Got to keep in good shape.
I also learned that hospitality is complex. Acts of welcome were also accompanied by assumptions about culture, difference, and competence. It became a space where power, perception, and cultural imagination were negotiated. Over time, repeated encounters around table transformed relationships. Conversations replaced assumptions. Familiarity softened surprises. Belonging emerged not through sameness but through sustained relationship across difference. One of the most important discoveries was that Eucharist extends beyond Sunday worship. Shared meals often equal sacramental meaning. Hospitality became a continuation of Eucharistic practice. The values embodied at the communion table, receiving, sharing, gratitude, and mutual dependence were being practiced throughout daily congregational life. The theological theme that most resonates with my findings is the image of the table as both altar and classroom. As altar, the table reminds us that grace is received. Meals become occasions of divine presence and communion. As classroom, the table teaches how to live with difference, how to listen, and how to be transformed by one another. Throughout scripture, meals and places where God forms community reveals presence and creates belonging. This project has reshaped how I understand ministry. Hospitality is not simply kindness, it is theology in practice. It is a way of discerning God's presence in everyday life. For world Christianity, this study demonstrates that the global Christianity is experienced not only through institutions and demographics, but through ordinary encounters around tables, kitchens, fellowship halls, and homes. This project began with a question about food. It became a study of belonging. It became a reflection on hospitality. Ultimately, it became a way of seeing theology unfold in ordinary life. Around tables in Little Falls, New York, I discovered that theology is not merely taught. It is practiced, it is shared, and often it begins with an invitation to eat together. Thank you.